Hello, this is Andrew Fidler with LaPlante Real Estate, coming to you as always from Toledo, Ohio. We have entered 2026. It was 3 weeks ago that I generated the 2025 wrap-up video for the year. I was supposed to be off the hook for making videos for a little while. And the same way on Monday, January 5th, the City of Toledo announced that trash pickup as we know it and as we knew it has changed. So, since 2009, when I began investing here in Toledo, we had bulk pickup. Once a month, you would be able to call in and schedule a pickup of unlimited quantity of items, and they would all just disappear from your curb, and the price was free. Doesn't get any better than that. There were some rules, there were some headaches you would have in the case of an eviction. Sometimes you'd have neighbors kind of go through the bags and see what they could treasure hunt. We'd have to pay to pick all that up. So it wasn't a perfect system, but the price was right. Now, starting on Monday, January 5th of 2026, residents are now getting weekly bulk pickup of 5 items. So, 5 couches, or 5 heavy bags of garbage, or 5 bundles of sticks, whatever they prefer. They've got some rules, like no gasoline, no tires. But they can have regular pickup. From a citizen standpoint, it is far more convenient. From an eviction standpoint, us as landlords, we have a headache on our hands. Now, the cost for this basis is, so you have roll-off boxes is where we're headed. The cost for roll-off boxes, we have 20-yard, 30-yard, and 40-yard. They're all kind of an incremental cost. They're close together, but they center around $500. So it's not a make or break dollar amount, but it is an expense if your portfolio has evictions on an annual basis. That's an expense you were not anticipating and that we're not excited to be on the receiving end of. Now, just like the federal government implements regulations and taxes, and business then changes its actions to minimize the impact, we are doing the same thing over here. Fact one, if we have a small trash out, then we're going to be grabbing those materials, transporting to our dumpster here at the office. There's more labor and kind of headache in doing it, but if we can avoid the roll-off box, we absolutely will. Anyone with like a 1-bedroom apartment, a studio apartment, I think that may be a perfect solution. We'll be able to get everything into a small trailer and bring it over here. Not a big deal. Additionally, when we have residents that have notified they're going to move out, or we have residents who are facing eviction and their set out is scheduled, we will be getting documentation to them to explain, if you leave belongings, we will be hitting you for the expense. It will be itemized, it will hurt. Additionally, when we do the annual inspection for a lease renewal, previously, we were looking to make sure we didn't have an unauthorized dog. We didn't have, dog urine, dog feces, whatever. We didn't have destruction of the house. We didn't have holes punched in the walls. Now we are far more attentive and interested in the number of like outdoor couches, debris that's sitting. Do we have like that hoarder house with the tunnels, the tracks kind of going through the property? So there is a great deal that we can do to prevent any of that reoccurrence. Now, how do I think it's going to affect your portfolio? Our office is in 43612 zip code. My portfolio, 43612, 43613. Those stronger neighborhoods, I don't feel we're going to have a problem. My portfolio of over 20 properties does not have an eviction event budgeted. It is not a normal thing for me. Residents in the stronger zip codes want to be able to apply for a home and not have blemishes on their records like evictions or eviction filings. And so they want to keep those things clean. They want to minimize that. Just like if they have wages, those wages can be garnished. They are collectible. Now we move into the single-digit zip codes, into some of the weaker neighborhoods. Fact is, you're going to have more transiency. You're going to have weaker residents. You're going to have a larger chance of an eviction, larger chance of somebody just kind of moving out overnight. So this may affect your portfolio. Ultimately, what we're going to be focusing on, and this is the standard at LaPlante since time eternal, if your property is rented stably, okay, the rent rate is competitive, the amenities are attractive and well maintained. You can also be in a neighborhood with blight and crime and boards up on neighboring properties. But as long as you are making a home for someone and they're proud to live there and they want to stay there the long term, the rent rate is secondary. Happy to get with anybody on Microsoft Excel and go through the income over years where you don't have that annual turnover and renovation requirement. However, the rent rate needs to be factored. I would say this would be this would call into question our annual default of raising the rent rate. You want to be careful that the rent rate doesn't cause a turnover. Okay, so stability is our ally. I don't expect this to be affecting our portfolios as we come into the year. My personal opinion, this is going to be just like the City of Toledo lead ordinance. It is just a reality. It's something that's there. I'd also argue it's the same concept as OMG, people have to have safe drinking water, and I have to have doors on my bedrooms, and we've got to maintain the property, and we have building codes. We've had all of these constraints on owners' rights, landlord rights, property rights. We have been evolving since time eternal. And so to me, this is just another evolution. City of Toledo had it very well with free trash pickup. It's unusual that this town had that, but it was one of the reasons Toledo was so attractive as a rental market. I don't expect this is a big deal. I simply am acknowledging that this is a change that we are anticipating and rolling with. We are communicating with the residents to make sure that we are passing along as much of this expense. And first, I would say we're negating the expense by the residents using the services that the trash company has put in place that truly is more convenient for them. And additionally, if we do have expenses, we want to collect that from the residents if at all possible. As always, we appreciate your investment here in Toledo. We appreciate your trust in LaPlante Real Estate managing your portfolio. We're available for any questions you may have, and we appreciate your time. Thank you.